More or Nothing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of More or Nothing with Ryan and Max. So much to get through. But first things first, how's everyone's weeks been going?
What is it? What are we on? Are we on Monday? I think we're all completely lost. Like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning for you, Mark. You're absolutely shattered. Max looks like he's tan because he's got some special bulb in his lamp, and I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. I've completely lost track. It's Monday, isn't it?
It's Monday, brother. Last week, I had the week off.
And yeah.
We all for a lovely, lovely meal.
Oh, yes. Oh, Matty O'Connor, did he sort you out?
O'Connor sorted me right out the dovetail at Mayfair. Very nice, very, very snazzy. A personal favourite with the oysters. I did enjoy the gnocchi with the truffle. Quite delicious. Really seduced the palate. We then moved onwards to a delicious dessert. It was this sort of chocolate fondant tart. Quite outstanding. Very decadent. Crippled the pancreas, but we move. Then on Wednesday, I was particularly ill. Came down with a bug. But I had to go to an asthma specialist and get my old ticker checked out because I was feeling somewhat whimsy in the field of play in the past. So I was like, you know what, let's go check on the asthma. Got that sorted out. Then returned back to Bristol. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I spent reclaiming my physiology as I get weird when I haven't trained for a while and I've been ill. Then I watched a lot of Code, as you do, and it's Monday and we've got Australia A on Friday. Woof, woof.
Oh my goodness, what a recap. What a bloody recap. But the main thing I wanted to ask about is, have you got asthma?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to say I had asthma just so I could have an inhaler. Just as
You have an inhaler, yeah. No, I've got a... Yeah, it's not great, but we it's just, there's lots of athletes with asthma. It's just sort of one of those things.
So when I stopped playing, I was exercise-induced asthma is what I called it. Oh, balloon's going off for some reason. And I, when I nearly went back playing recently, I completely fucking panicked. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't taken an inhaler for so long. Because I started getting the brown ones, the Clenor ones.
Oh, yeah, I know the ones you're talking about.
I was like hammering those every night. And I thought it just gave me that extra boost. So I had to go to the doctors and get these inhalers. And he was like, well, what do you need them for? I was like, I have something coming up and I'm going to be exercising a bit harder again. And then they're just gone into the drawer where all the asthma pumps go. And that was it. The kids just play with them now, spray them and use them as like deodorant.
That sounds safe.
Matt, how brilliant is Matt O'Connor?
He's a lovely
my
man.
friend that came to the live pod that time that was he was running back in alley and he's now doing some stuff at Dovetail. But what a wonderful man!
Very, very hospitable host. He was quite lovely.
What did I do last week? I was in with the Fijians, wasn't I? That's what I was doing. I was oh my God! They say what I don't even know what the saying is. It's like on TV, don't work with animals or children, and I would throw Fijians into the mix because my fucking God, like herding cats plus God knows what else, because it was like, right boys, we're coming across with TNT, we're going to do some filming, and where will you be? We'll be at training on Tuesday afternoon. Turn up to the training ground, no sign of a Fijian anywhere. Phone the manager, no media manager, phone the manager, mate, where is everyone? No, can't get hold of him. Have to phone Nico's brother. They're at the hotel. Go to the hotel. It's like just carnage, absolute carnage. But it was wonderful to go and spend a bit of time with them. Went and did some filming in the gym. Sung some hymns on the way down to the gym with them. Beautiful, beautiful people. And then luckily, Nico Matawalu came up at the weekend to do a little bit of hospitality stuff, which I'd lined him up for. Which, as you can imagine, only went one way. Brilliantly, because he's completely nuts. But on the Friday night before the game, I don't know if you saw the Fijian team photo. Did you see it, Max?
No.
Because Nico has gone, come and meet me at the team hotel. They're doing the Lotu, which is like the team jersey presentation. So I thought, that's lovely. That'd be nice. There'll be some Fijians there and sit and watch the jersey presentation.
I have.
You've seen the photo.
You're in it.
I'm in the photo.
The team photo.
I don't know whether that's frowned upon before an international match, which you're meant to be commentating on, and you're in the team photo of the opposition team that's playing against the team you used to play for. I'm not sure that's all there, but if you go and look at the Fijian team photo from the night before, there's me right in the corner with Nico just in a white shirt.
I thought I spotted you when I'd see one of the things. I was like, "What? He would be there, like just in the photo."
Yeah, but do you know what it is? Nico's like that. It's okay, come and meet me. I've turned up late and I've rung him. Where are you? And he's whispering. He's like, in the thing. Walk in. It's just Nico and then the whole team. So I'm like, oh my God, what a nightmare. So I'm sat at the back. To be fair, Caleb Muntz's mum and dad were there. I think they travel everywhere. But me and Nico sat at the back. It was beautiful. Like Mesu Dolokoto did some prayers, almost took a ceremony. Then they did the jersey presentations. Then they sung some hymns. I was in my absolute element, but it was funny. And then I was presented with the Buller shirt that I wore on the TV. Did you like that? Did you see that, Max?
Yeah, I did. That was lovely. That was a great touch.
Nico got that made for me in Fiji. Me and him had the same one, half Fijian, half Scottish. And I had the Sulu. But I thought that might be a step too far for the TV, as it had a big Fijian rugby badge on it.
Your mimicry of Nico's voice and accent is just uncanny, by the way. I've never seen anyone pull it off quite like you.
Oh, boys, but it was...
Why do they sound like that, though, sometimes? You know, Semi used to put on this Italian accent as well. It's like this Italian thing going on sometimes. It's strange to me.
I don't know
Semi
what it is.
does it as well. He's like, he turns into this alter ego. Cock-a-doodle-doo, woof woof, meow meow. He just goes off on one. Bro, fascinating people. They are, outstanding. But that's, your mimicry of Nico is second to none. Truly wonderful.
You know, when you, like, obviously Premier Sport have been pretty relaxed, and with TNC it's like, with the briefings all week, it was like, you make sure you wear the right thing, and it's an international game, and I'm like, in my brain going, fucking, I'm thinking of wearing a Buller shirt and a Sulu, like, and I might even wear some flip-flops to go with it. On my first international rugby match. It was my debut, boys, my international debut.
I think that's the right thing to wear with that.
Oh, yeah, I think so. So, but anyway, it went down well. Nico wore his. We sung some Fijian hymns at some hospitality gigs for Arnold Clark.
I would have loved that.
So yeah, a good weekend had by all, and I stayed off the sauce pretty much.
You either do or you don't.
Well, I basically didn't kick the life out of it. So, I don't know where we're going to start. We've both had all right weeks. Let's just apologise quickly before we forget to anyone that was expecting the episode to go out last week. There were, let's just say, some timing issues, and for once.
No. I was there bright and early. I was at the club. I even turned up to the club early. I sat myself down on Dave Ward's desk. About it, in there, just waiting calmly. I was like, "Oh, the boys aren't coming on. Why isn't anyone on yet?"
Well, and this was like what, 6 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it?
No, I got up at 6. We decided for like 7, so I was on at 6:45 as always.
At the club.
This new and improved conscientious Max at the club, and then I text the boys on the group. Ryan's like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing it." What? No one told me.
Blame Mark. He's been on flights and travelling everywhere and living it up as per usual. Like, don't blame me. But we are sorry that there wasn't an episode last week.
He's turned into a real diva recently.
He is, isn't he? I think he's turned into a right diva. We'll blame it all on Mark. I think you're just burning the candle too hard over there.
Yeah, you're just trying to.
You've just basically, before we come on here, you was telling us how you had the best night of your life last week. How you got drunk and went away with some movie star. Who was it?
No. My cousin was doing his Netflix special at the London Palladium. So my brother and I went there, but it was like a room full of like every single kind of Chinese and Southeast Asian like star. That they had all the crazy rich Asian guys were there and girls, and anybody else you could think of. The Jessica Henwick and all these people. The guy from Slow Horses, the guy who does all the like IT stuff, and they were all there. And because of my cousin that he was introducing us, we're his only family that were there at the show. So it was pretty cool.
Hold on, were you dressed up as a fucking skeleton?
No, that was that. I got back from that weekend, so we flew back from work. So I went straight to BBC, then flew straight back, and then literally landed at whatever midday
and went to another party.
And went to, it was a friend's birthday, but they do like an adults thing at Universal Studios, so you can go ride do all the rides, but dressed in like full gear and everything.
Oh, sorry. So Max, so what he's trying to say is he was at an event where he was basically getting pierced with loads of like film stars, and then he went back home to go to Disney World.
You know what?
And dress up like a skeleton instead of do the podcast. Right? Okay. Listen.
I was available.
Charmed life.
I will say, guys, jump on it. His name's Ronny Chung, and he is very, very, very funny. My cousin. You recognize him he's on the Daily Show, and he's been in he's in like Shang-Chi and like Crazy Rich Asian stuff. But his Netflix special out, I think December 17th, is brilliant. He is very, very funny. So there you go.
There you have it.
I'll be the judge of that.
I'll be the judge of that. Let me see if he's funny. He's actually genuinely incredibly funny lad. Right, boys, let's jump in. I mean, let's go fresh because it was the second game anyway. And Ryan, you were in camp conflicted. You spent the week with the Fijians, as we've just said, but then also you were obviously at the game of Scotland versus Fiji. How were we feeling about that?
I was conflicted. I did feel torn. Like I had the picture in the morning. Frank's been singing Ongo Nongo Masu like in his bed. We hear him over his baby monitor singing Nongo Masu at 9 o'clock at night, and he's meant to be going to sleep. Mick Byrne has given me the Sulu, and he's like, "Mate, it'd be great for you to, represent the boys, and we'd love it if you were." And I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? Because I genuinely felt torn. Obviously Scotland has a special place in my heart, but Fiji has a special place in my soul. So I was torn, and it was tough to see the boys go 26-0 down. Like they obviously, the Fijian and Drua, it was all players of the Fijian and Drua, and so they would have been really disappointed with the way that they played, I think. I even spoke to Nico afterwards, and I was like, oh, they must be gutted. And they did their normal thing, went in, said the prayers, had some hymns and stuff, and still got up on stage, boys, at the after-dinner function and still sung, like Penny, Nico's brothers, leading it. But there was a little bit of fight back, but Scotland just completely ran them ragged. Like, what about Darcy Graham and Duhan van der Merwe? The fact that they're just battling out, and it's almost like a joke now because Darcy scores 4 tries, Duhan scores 1. He's going, why am I on this wing? Next minute, he's scored a try, but he gets disallowed, and you can see his face. They're like almost laughing to each other. And international rugby, and they're like battling out. I think 29 tries for Duhan van der Merwe now, which is, the record's been broken. Like Darcy catching up with him by scoring 4. It was just incredible. So, but there was some serious players on show, mate. What about Adam Hastings' pass?
Yeah, that was a touch of the King Midas, wasn't it? That was glorious. Very, very skaxy.
And you can only do that when you're so far up. Surely, when you're that far
Adam,
ahead,
bro. That's Adam. He just does stuff like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Don't really think about it. It just he just does it. It's quite instinctive to him.
What was it? He was showboating for his missus last time. Do you remember that when we down at Gloucester? It was like he was showboating for his missus that was in the stand. Do you remember? We spoke about it on here. He did something then, didn't he?
Didn't he do like a trick kick or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, he did some kind of trick kick, and it came off.
So, but no, he was good. Listen, he'd been out for a while. Darcy Graham had been out for over a year. Finally came back into it. And
how good! That's awesome for him. Like outstanding.
I'm trying to think. Like Jack Dempsey, just absolute Trojan.
He's a train. He's
Is he in an unfortunate position because you look at all the back rowers from like Ireland and you think about the Lions? Like he's good enough. He's good enough to be involved in that Lions chat, I think, because the way he plays, he just absolute menace when he carries the ball. But there are so many good back rowers, isn't there?
There are so many, yeah. But if you're looking at ball carry, like he's a straight up hard nosed ball carrying sort of a. Are there that many of those guys right now? Obviously, Caelan Doris is the guy. The Irish are touting him as the potential Lions captain. But then after that, Ben Earl's an 8 for England, but he's not the same kind of player. Who else you got? Wales, you've got Jack Morgan, but he's playing 7 really. So then
No, you could be.
He could be in, mate. I think he might be in, bruh.
Yeah, no. Well, and this is it. Like, this is why these autumns are so important. This is why these players have got to play well because obviously you've got Six Nations coming up, but they could do some damage. Put the name on the sort of list early doors. And then for me, boys, Tom Jordan was just he came off the bench, and you talk about players like doing it at club level, and can they do it at international level? Oh my God, he showed that he could. He came on, and it wasn't just the way he attacked because he was ridiculous in attack. He was just going for it. He played exactly the way he plays for Glasgow, played exactly the same way he did for Scotland, like chasing stuff down, try saving tackle. When they're that far ahead, he's coming across, making try saving tackles. His impact, incredible. He needs to be involved this week against South Africa. He needs to be involved because he can cover so many different positions as well.
What are you thinking?
I'll tell you what will happen.
Africa. I feel like the Scottish press are kind of quietly confident. Are they? Let's whisper, you and I, for a minute. Let's not ruin this. Let's whisper about this. Let's conspire. Can it be done? Can the plucky men of Scotland beat the mighty Bokke? I say no, but I'm hoping you. The true victory.
I say no chance, but
I tell you what. If there's a time to do it, it has to be now. It has to be now. Like I'm guessing Ben White and Finn Russell will come straight into start. Right? We didn't have Ben White and Finn Russell.
Ben White's got to play.
Couldn't use any of the English base player or the French base player. Blair Kinghorn comes in to start at 15. That back three of Darcy, Graham, Duhan, Blair Kinghorn, centres of Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones.
The back line, I will give you something there. The back line is
filth.
Very, very it's potentially quite dangerous.
And so there we then start to talk about potentially the downfall for Scotland because Xander Fagerson went through another serious shift. Like talking about, he's obviously already a British and Irish Lion, but he went for a serious shift in the weekend again. But there's not a huge amount in terms of power behind him. I think Darcy Ray was on the bench at the weekend. He did well when he came on, but against that bomb squad, that is where they could get into a bit of trouble. Scotland.
It is Jurassic Park, that pack, just monster after monster. That's
the only thing Scotland have got from him is a little bit of cohesion from last week. Like they've played a game, they've managed to get a run out. South Africa,
maybe Rassie does. Yeah, maybe Rassie does one of his like experimental sort of blooding of everyone, and you can catch them out with a bit of lack of cohesion. But we'll see.
But even with that back row though of Scotland, like Darge, Dempsey, Fagerson, you've still got like Jamie Ritchie. I think Maggie's in the squad, isn't he now? Crosby. So, it's second row. Scott Cummins and Grant Gilchrist. Can they bar up enough to take on the Saffers? I don't know. It's going to be a big ask. Like we got asked on the TV, and Scotland will be happy with 3 wins out of 4. I think. This is the big one, though. This is the big one that everyone's talking about. Back-to-back World Cup champs coming to Murrayfield. If there's a time for Scotland to do it, it has to be now.
Go on then. Money where your mouth is, boys.
South Africa.
At least a good, 2 scores. Oi, Rye. Also with Fiji, let's talk about this. with the French clubs releasing players for next week, does Fiji get the mental horsepower of all horsepower released for the next game? And do you think Fiji will change up the starting lineup?
Oh, it would completely change.
It'll be completely different.
Wasana, their level coming in, Chutawana Kolo, Josh Tuasova, Albert Tuasui, Botia. It's just like, just throw them in the mix.
Oh God.
The Welsh should be like, no, but please, but fucking don't do it, but.
Oh Lordy. That'll be a lot of fun.
Listen, let's stick with the result for this weekend. Scotland, South Africa. It's going to be a big ask. I've got to go with the boys. I've got to go with Scotland. Yes, we have a lot of South Africans on here. They might laugh at me. They might chuck their dravos at me and say, "You fucking stupid busman." But I'm going with the boys. Max is going with his head. South Africa.
Kilts are getting thrown over, and you're getting a spanking. But we'll see.
Down at the Millennium Stadium, or Principality, whatever it's called now. Toss or Viti, I think Fiji are going to do a job on Wales.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be a good game. That is going to be a good game.
Yeah, it is.
Just want to say a big shout out to our sponsors that are Wolfcraig Distillers that have been with us all the way. Max, give it to me.
How?
You can head over to
Wolfcraig.com
and grab yourself a lovely bottle of whiskey. Also, look at this, boys. I'm going to get my beanie on for this. It's getting cold, isn't it? Yeah.
That is actually, I could do one of those.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll get them sent out. I'm not sure they sell these, but we'll have to run something. But anyway, we're going to go to our Wolfcraig moment of the week, which is Max Laheath.
It's got to be Adam Hastings with a flick of the wrist. A very sumptuous bit of skill. It can only be one, and it is that man, Adam.
All right, let's move on to what was an incredibly close test match. Intense. England versus New Zealand. Max, we'll start with you. Straight up emotions.
Emotions? Oh, man. I just thought they should just got it done, shouldn't they? Right, what do you reckon? I reckon England should have got that done. Like maybe 10 minutes earlier, before this whole sort of controversy surrounding Steve Borthwick's game management, which is just tripe, by the way. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. You can't talk about George Ford like that. You can't talk about our kid like that.
You can't because he's tried and tested. He's come on, and every other time he's come on and done a job. But equally, I do get where people are saying you need to go after it and try and win it rather than try not to lose it. And that is effectively what it felt like. It felt like England was trying not to lose it. They just started to get a bit of momentum. They'd finally, started to get on the front foot. And you think, right, leave it for 5 more minutes. Leave it for five more minutes to see what happens, to see if they do. George Ford's been brought on to close out a game. And I know you've called him the fucking, what is he, the grave digger or puts people in holes, you call him. But it's just... the
Undertaker. But it's a grave digger. It sounds like he's a different... Yeah.
Oh, he dug himself a grave this weekend, didn't he? But do you know what I mean, Max? Like that.
I get it. But George Ford wins games, man. We're talking about but he's a brilliant player. I won't have it. I won't have people trying to soil his rep based off of that. That's nonsense.
No, and I'm completely with you. I don't want to soil his rep. Yeah. But what I do want to speak about is when you're starting to get momentum, suddenly changing things that quickly. It just didn't make sense. I think even Marcus Smith was a bit like us. Like, what have I been taking?
Well, it's going to be that guy. Come on, he is the protagonist. Do you know what I mean?
But I'm with you. I don't go after George Ford. Jesus, like we all make mistakes.
A lot of things going wrong there as well on that drop goal attempt. It was all sort of all over the gaff.
Yeah, but I think it was all the piggybacking of the missed penalty. The missed drop goal and then the missed tackle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just there's a lot going on there. Also, come on, Mark Tele'a.
Oh my!
let's talk about that guy for a moment. We've sung his praises many a time. But the consummate ease with which he's like a greasy hurricane. Do you know what I mean? He's elusive but once you connect with him, you're in trouble. You got to get your hands on him. But even if you do, you more often than not, you're ending up on the floor. Like, you see what happened to Benny Earl? Ben Earl went up for a big chop suey, got thrown over, mate. And then obviously with Ellis Gender's try, that's a hard mismatch down the edge there. Then you've got obviously the George Ford missed tackle, but mate, Mark Tele'a, he's like led the Super Rugby for defenders beaten like for a long time. He's a savage. So that's another one I'm sort of a bit like mixed about. Like, it's Mark Tele'a, but yeah, fair enough. If you want to go there, go there.
Yeah, there was also 2 or 3 people behind George Ford after they missed that tackle that were trying to get hold of him as well. So, give me your honest thoughts here. The way that Esequei, is it? When it hits the post and they knock it on, the way he's celebrating as if they've won the match. You overcooked it, son. You've overcooked it. Do you not think it was a bit much? That's a lot of people talking about it. They're celebrating as if they've won the game. Well, you haven't. You've still got a scrum and you've still got
yeah, but that's like an authentic emotion. You can't, like, I'm not going to take up arms against people over celebrating when I feel as if it's something he's actually celebrating. He's gotten into the game there, and I feel as if that's his way of celebrating it. That's involuntary reaction.
I suppose for people that didn't want England to win,
it's easy. It's like, oh, you arrogant sod.
No, not the arrogance. It just sort of made me happier when they then lost.
Oh yeah.
Because I wanted the All Blacks to win.
Of course you did. I know that.
So I was quite happy when I saw, that sail wide. I saw a lot of reactions of the fans that thought inside HQ, Allianz.
I knew you were going to do that.
But you can't call it HQ anymore, can you? It's Allianz.
Okay, yeah.
But everyone's cheering straight away, and it's mixed. They get better seats because you've obviously can't see what's going on.
Yeah. Also, the ref's mic that's a great touch. Can I just say that added some real sort of theatricality to the whole sport?
Isn't it brilliant? I love it. I think it's great.
Probably 10 years too late, but I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I'll tell you another good thing: speeding up the scrums.
Yeah.
And genuinely, notice a difference with the shot clock.
Yeah, you do. It looks good. It's a streamline.
It's so true because you're so used to thinking, oh, this is a break in play. As in, even when you're watching it, you're like, okay, line out's coming, or the scrum, or everything, and you're like, okay, I've got a certain amount. And I remember being like, because we were watching at a bar, and you talk to somebody, and then you suddenly be like, oh, it's started again, but far quicker than before.
Yeah,
really surprised.
It is. I just that 30 seconds has made such a difference, and it's like almost like the TV can't keep up with it as well because they're almost doing stuff, and then they're like, oh. Right, we've only got 60 seconds here. So, yeah, those little changes have made a big difference. They've changed a lot of the rules around that. The players escorting now. You're not allowed that.
Yeah, what do you think of that? I was going to ask you.
So it's not, what is it? It's not aiding the player, supporting the player or something. So they've got to come around. You can't
impede. So essentially, Mark, in rugby, you're coached as the kick receiving team in play, especially when the nine's box kicking it for like a contestable kick. Especially as a type 5 forward back rower on the edge, you're sort of taught and coached to impede their chaser. Usually,
you shield the catcher almost.
Shield the catcher around you. Yeah. Okay.
Now you're not allowed to do that. So there's got to be a contest for the ball. So now it's going to be very much more like sort of Aussie footy, AFL. What do you think of that, Rye?
I think. Do you know what? When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know about that, but it's making for more contests in the air, and I think it's something like, don't obstruct. You've got to get back in support. Which, if you're going to get more people going up for the ball, the only person that didn't benefit from it was Carl Rowe. Did you see him when I think it was Nasila Silla?
Oh, he timed that.
Literally, his toenail touched the floor.
Yeah, literally.
being upended. But no, I'm with it as well. So all these little tweaks. Yeah, I think they've made a difference. There was one more as well, wasn't there? Croc rolls are out, which we like. We don't want to see croc rolls.
That's a good one. Really hard to not do that, by the way. I've when you're late to a ruck, I've had that a couple of times this season already where I'm like, get late there, and there's like some absolute clinging 7 over the ball, and you're just like, what do I do? You can't, because now you can't like decimate him through like a sort of suplex to the side. But I think you're right. It's definitely a good rule.
And no blocking when the kicks are box, the nines are box kicking. So, and again, speeds everything up. So, well done, World Rugby. We're with you.
But back to the England game. So with the free kick off the scrum, obviously can't choose to opt to scrum again, and then you saw them put the Gary Owen up. That was lovely as well. That was absolutely helter skelter. Great crack. Hadn't seen one of those a long time. Viable tactic.
Boys, I know we've touched upon it already, but see, he's getting a lot of heat. You talked about it, George Ford, with that. They're calling it the horror cameo, right?
It's just meh.
Okay. So obviously, from your perspective,
I can't. I am biased. I'm biased, but I can't really look at it too objectively. But if you look historically at George Ford in an England shirt, he's synonymous with much of England's success. And if I know this is Test rugby, it's professional sport, etc. But I don't know if you can sort of hold this sort of thing over him. So
the problem is they're not. The missed penalty was so close. Although I say if you rewatch the highlights, because the Damien McKenzie's conversion is so much more difficult, right? Because it's far right on the right, and then the next shot is George Ford's penalty, which is far more central, a bit further out. Obviously, the drop goal is you can't. No one's bloody Joel Stransky or whatever. But how do we feel about that missed tackle?
Oh, mate, it's Mark. It's greasy Mark Tele'a we're talking about. Oh, right, dive in the spokes. Maybe it works. It probably won't. Maybe that's what people want to see. Mark Tele'a, people. He's made like some of the best defenders in that England team look silly earlier as well. And around the world. It's South Africa. It could be Australia. It could be France. He's doing that. He's beating people.
It is silly. Like people are saying, Marcus Smith would have made that tackle. How do you bloody know? So yeah. But listen, let's move on from it because it's not all George Ford's fault. England should have put the game to bed. They should have pushed on. And if we're talking about Scotland's opportunity this week, if ever, to beat South Africa, even though it's the back-to-back winning champ fucking team coming to Murrayfield. But if ever there was a time for England to beat them, because what's the record there, Mark, in terms of how many times they've played New Zealand and lost? I think it's like...
So 3 in a row to New Zealand. And if you actually take up the 4 top sides in the world, they are just at kind of 1 win and 5 losses in 6 matches against, New Zealand, Ireland, France and South Africa. It's not a great record, but they've all been close, but it's still, at some point, you've got to win though, right?
Well, you throw Scotland in the mix as well. That's adds another 5 losses as well. Yeah, but this is it. They've got to, with the money that they've got, with the amount.
Right. Let's be positive about it.
No, let's not, because they've got so much money.
They've got so much money.
So much more resources. So much more resources. They've got so many more people playing rugby. They've got to be. They've got to be doing better than they have. Like they should have beaten. They should have beaten New Zealand. New Zealand weren't anywhere near where people want them to be.
Okay, so if that was all New Zealand being crap, not England being good, I completely contest that. By the way, I think England's defence was absolutely brilliant.
Except for the 3 times where they tore them to shreds, I suppose. Like where they come back down the short side, Genji chases out, and it's just a little simple cut. A big lazy 4 come around the corner, straight through for Will Jordan.
But are we contesting the fact that England won most of that collision game?
Yeah, they did. To be fair, they did. But you listen. I'm just listening to the England fans. I suppose I'm just listening. To the England fans.
But they're just a fickle bunch who would get lost in their patriotic ecstasy, and then when it disappears, they're like, it's just they're not even there.
Yeah, they're drowning in their gilets and fucking brown boots.
Awful. But anyway, What can we take from this? Positives, people. Come on.
I'll say you're positive.
England pack. I think that was positive.
Oh, I was going to say they've got Australia this week. That should be an easy one.
The trolling is world class. The trolling's good. The trolling's good. You belong in the minds of Moria. But besides that, mate, great D, some great collisions. Most of the pack can carry now. I thought Cunningham South he had some big.
He was banging boys.
It'd be nice to see him get a bit more like ball carrying sort of opportunities. I thought Manny, Dr. Faye Waboso on the edge. He is looking like a serious problem at that level. Like he was quite irresistible until Almua let him know. Mate, how good's I love watching Almua play, but like because of the sort of dynamism he possesses, he can sometimes he sometimes tries things that just don't come off all the time. And I think that's why they always stick with Cody Taylor. He's like that more consistent sort of test match hooker. But Safa Almua must be one of the most brilliantly dynamic athletes playing hooker at the moment. He is a scary, scary man. But I also thought that Benny Earl had a strong game. Tom Curry looked good coming back from that much time off. I thought he had a strong outing. Mario Toji, quite brilliant.
No, Max, I will give it to you. Like, listen, England were good. They just they're just struggling to find a way to see out the games, and that's why I think everyone's. That's why is everyone going. That is why everyone is going in so heavy on Borthwick. Saying, why did he? The wholesale changes. They were just getting a little bit of momentum. They were starting to find their feet in terms of attack, and you're like, just let it go for a little bit longer to see what happens. So, but you're right. They did play. They did play better, and I can't see them losing this weekend. I think they'll win against Australia. Wallace Sititi.
Oh, Sititi, he was fantastic, wasn't he? He's an all-court threat. He looked that first touch with the offload. Ooh, wee.
And I tell you what is going to be exciting. Fucking imagine the All Blacks versus Ireland this week, Friday night.
Yeah, who you got for that? I think I've got Ireland.
I think I've got Ireland.
Yeah.
I'm going Ireland. I would like to see the All Blacks do it, but...
So do I. I really want to see them do it, but I do think Ireland are just going to have a bit too much.
Oh, man, I would be so... imagine the amount of Guinness you'd be able to consume before that game on a Friday night. Finishing Friday.
Oh, yeah. Get it in you.
Let's just be hypothetical. Let's pretend we work on a building site, right?
Yeah.
On the site, come to 2 o'clock, clock off early, go straight to the pub, and just...
Paddy, do you want to Guinness or two?
Oh my God!
To be sure,
smack a load of Guinness like those ones we had at that place in London. What was that called again?
The Devonshire.
Oh, the Devonshire! My God, what a pint of Guinness! Oh, it would just be wonderful. And then head down to the ground and watch that on a Friday night. What a brilliant idea! Friday night rugby, international. Why don't they do that? Why don't they do that?
Probably can't make as much money. I don't know.
Interesting, but what a game that is going to be. So we've got a big game. We've got a big weekend of rugby coming up, boys.
Have you watched? Have you watched The Guard?
No.
Oh mate,
with
Gleeson and Don Cheadle. Right, Ryan. When you get a chance.
Hold on. Sorry, has this got anything to do with what? Because do you reckon people?
It is in Ireland. It is set in Ireland.
Okay, go on.
Based on this police officer in Galway. Played by Brendan Gleeson, and he joins forces. It's a buddy cop move, and he joins forces as FBI investigator who's investigating these drug traffickers in Galway, County Galway. And the guard, Brendan Gleeson, see, he's like this politically very incorrect sort of old school Irishman, and it's so brilliant. It's right up your street. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I really recommend it heartily.
I will get off of Selling Sunset and I'll jump straight into the game.
Yeah, exactly. Please do. I think you'd enjoy it very much. It gives you a chuckle every time. Very rewatchable as well.
Okay. There we go.
Just a quick one, the Haka standoff.
Yeah, great. I'm all for it. Obviously, Joe Marler controversy with his tweet.
Yeah, what was that though? That was bullshit. That's just him trying to get a few more eyeballs on him just before he gives the announcement about his retirement. He thought.
I reckon he thinks like that.
I Oh yeah, I think before your brain goes to your fingers and you're about to tweet the hacker's bullshit or something. That's a bit. There must be.
And then why does he elaborate? Is that to save face?
I reckon so. Like I don't see
He
why.
cares that much about saving face.
Well, I don't know.
I think he gets buyer's remorse, though, doesn't he? I think he does it and then is like, should I have done that? Particularly when he's not playing and then it gets called up and it creates a big storm, and then suddenly Jamie George is having to go, cheers, mate. Hey, come on, they were all talking about it.
I know what it got. It got what it got. Like it got the gravity from such a high profile sort of personality of the sport. But I don't know if it is what it is. But yeah, it was a great reaction from the England boys. I enjoyed the challenge. I think it should be a thing. Why isn't that a thing? I think the All Blacks boys love it as well, don't they?
Yeah. Oh no, I love it. No, but the fact that he came out and said it shouldn't be, you shouldn't have the hacker. That was bullshit. I love the fact that they walk towards it. And as the hacker comes forwards towards it, and they get closer and closer, like you've seen it in the rugby league, didn't you?
Mate, that was hissing, wasn't it?
And people love that. I think it is. That still, like even Frank, my 3-year-old, I'm like, Frank, quick, come here, the hacker's on. You know, it's one of those things you go, kids, get in here, the hacker's on.
It's real, it's proper. And actually, people pay. I know it sounds not ridiculous, but I remember, as a kid, my dad was like, we went to it was New Zealand, Canada, and like the 2000 and the whatever it was World Cup, like years and years ago, and getting to see it was like the best thing ever. Like people would go just to say they've seen the hacker.
Oh mate, it's beautiful. It is
brilliant.
Yeah, TNT did this thing, no filter, and I watched it this morning, and it was like they've got this thing all around the stands and stuff, and it's like a recap of the game day, and genuinely got goosebumps from the hacker stuff. And I don't mind them, even though it's a shit song, them singing Swing Low, whatever it is, whilst they're doing the hacker. Like it just adds to the atmosphere. So I'm all for it. Keep creating it. Hacker's brilliant, and sing over it if you want. It's still a beautiful thing.
Fabulous. All right, fellas. I also just wanted a quick thought on the Danny Kerr extracts. Have you read any of them saying that?
No, but why are we? Can we just talk? Like, let's talk candidly about this for a moment. Why are people pretending that wasn't happening in the Eddie Jones camps?
We spoke about it on air.
Yeah, exactly.
What did he do? What did he do? Give someone sausages or something that we had on air?
We were talking about disappearing blokes all the time. The bloke, I don't think he was hiding it.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't hiding it. Eddie Jones doesn't care what you think, pal. Do you know what I mean? And like all the players were coming out and saying he's nutty, and he knows he's nutty. And I know it's cool that it's all coming out now, but like the press reacting and old school pundits being like, this needs to be bloody investigated. This is outrageous. No wonder they didn't achieve it. Mate, you knew Eddie Jones was crazy and you put up with it because England were winning. Shut up.
We've had so many people come on here and talk. The first thing we say is, what was Eddie Jones like? They're like, he's a complete nutter. And a lot of them will go, yeah, but I still liked him. But yeah, he was this and that. So,
but good on Danny Kerr, like bringing out all the good stuff. That's great, Craig. Must be brilliant.
That's what you got to do.
Kieran Brooks, did you see? Getting absolutely just mind-mungered.
See that? What was that about Brooks?
No, tell me.
Everything. Like he'd come in and he'd be like, how was that training session? He was like, really good. I really enjoyed it. He's like, we didn't fucking train hard enough then, did you? And then next time he'd be like, how was that training session? Oh, I'm absolutely exhausted. That was so like the hardest training session ever. And he'd be like, well, then you're not fucking fit enough, are you? And then he'd be like, and then he'd be like, he got his haircut, and they're like, and he thought it was a normal haircut. And he's like, the fuck is that? Go and change it. Gave him 20 quid. And then Kieran Brooks is going to everybody else being like, what do I do? And they're like, it's a test. It's a test. Give him the money back to show you're standing up. And somebody else is like, go and get your fucking haircut. And he's like, what am I doing?
That's the fucking Aussies for you, though. Like, Scott Johnson, the first cap for Scotland was from Scott Johnson. We used to call him the fucking Riddler because you just never knew where you stood. And it was always trying to keep you on your toes. And he'd be like, boys. He'd be like, right, boys, we're having a club night. Drink as much as you want. And we're like, what? We got training tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, no, go for it. Fucking go for it. And we're like, really? So I obviously dived straight into it for fucking.
Like you're 6 in the morning.
Wilson on the bench for the next 6 games.
But he gave him a first cap. But yeah, you know what I mean? The Aussies are a bit like that. We're quite soft over here. Like they
It's like,
stuck into each other, wind each other up.
Where do you reckon that comes from, though? Why do they enjoy the mind fuck so much?
Isn't their island made up of prisoners or something? Is that not
Well,
what Australia was?
descendants of we're going there. We're going to go with the descendants of a penal colony. Oh my
inappropriate. God. Yeah, they're all it's the saying, isn't it?
Twisted megalomaniacs.
They're fucking lunatics, man.
Genetics. It's simply genetic.
Man, every Aussie I've met is fucking wired up wrong.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's true.
They're good boys.
No, I've met.
Oh, great boys! I love them all. That's why I love them. That's why I think I relate to them so well. It's because they're completely nuts. Like all the Aussies, they love a fucking schooner, like the fucking 4X gold.
Yeah, they are a lively bunch, but I'd say there's some pretty straight ones out there as well, Wills.
I don't know. I've not met many quiet Aussies that just want to.
Yeah, but you're basing this of professional rugby players. They're not right.
Exactly.
No, I don't know. I beg to differ. Anyway, we're getting completely.
Let's not.
No, I enjoy judging an entire race of people.
That's actually Max's race as well.
Exactly, I'm half of it. Makes sense.
But in any case, that we've heard it before. The Daddy Care sort of what he was saying. But
we have, and they have those guys feigning that Eddie Jones wasn't off his marbles and doing bad things to good people in the name of English rugby's success are lying.
Guys, it's burning bridges, right? Everybody is so scared that if you say it now, even after he'd left, they're like the ghosts of Eddie Jones's past. We've had so many people on, right? Do you remember who wanted to tell you?
Yeah, exactly.
We should get them all back. Let's get them all back.
Yeah. And the coach that old with that much success, by that point, he's like, "Yeah, don't give a fuck, man."
He was actually.
You said he was lovely, though. Mate, you said he's very personable.
Genuinely, like when I met him at the bar stuff and interviewed him, he was a fucking legend. I couldn't quite believe it. I was like, yeah, well, that's it. That's it. Max is pretending to change his mask for people that are listening, a man of many masks. But whilst we've got a chance, let's not forget, if you can head over to our YouTube channel, make sure you do. Go like, subscribe, do everything you need to over there because the Stoltman vlog is still up. It's gone pretty well. Myself and Max venture all the way up to Inverness. So head over to the YouTube channel, All or Nothing. It was a great weekend. Those big fellas and the golf ep's up, Max. We got a lot of traction from that. People loving watching you play golf for the first time in your life.
Watching that back though, I was like, I am a little bit stiff through the thoracic there. I'm somewhat dyspraxic with the golf club.
Oh my god! It's the way you lift one foot up and then the other foot up. It's like people are like, what was he doing with his feet?
Oh yes, he's not quite right. He's not quite wired upright, as you say, right? No.
This is all the people want to see. Like living inside Max's mind on a golf course. It was god,
mate, that sport is very, very odd. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it nonetheless. It was nice to share something that Ryan's so passionate about, and to see Big Tom Stoltman as well. He's very, very passionate about it. So that was really, really quite interesting.
So yeah, make sure you head over and check out that vlog. The vlog of the weekend. Mark, we'll get you up there next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Super keen. All right, boys. Well, thank you so much for that fabulous roundup. I think we miss each other when we don't see each other for like a week. I was like, look, guys, just keep it tight. Keep it tight. We're like, nah, we're just going to chat.
Keeping tight bollocks, lads. Conversations don't work like that. They're living, organic, like constructs of beauty, and they flow like rivers. Anyway, the pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Brilliant. But thank you to Ryan and Max, as always, and thank you all for listening and watching. And we will see you all next week, and we will.
Ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now. More or nothing.
What was your fidget toy today, Max?
This plastic mechanized pencil.
I've got a whiteboard marker with look at
Yeah.
this. You'll love this.
An
Look at this.
eraser.
Yeah, but look, it's spongy. So
Oh, that is.
and it's got a little magnet. So I've been clicking the magnet onto things and
Oh,
just pulling it off.
I want all of them.
I must have it now. Give it to me.